सर्वधर्मान् परित्यज्य मामेकं शरणं व्रज.
The miseries of material existence and the most hopeless conditions of life is the best possible opportunity to turn to God.
Barenaka Bhakti presents The Gift of Desperation, a Bhakti recovery podcast. This is a 12-step based Bhakti-oriented space. Here we share our experience, strength, and hope in the spirit of recovery from addictions and associated behaviors. Welcome. Hello, Bhakti Jake. What's happening? What's shaking?
Yes. Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, it's really nice to have you. So, I don't know a lot about you either. I just know, you come to, am I allowed to blow your anonymity? Of course. So,
I'm kind of a scenester.
yeah.
I like to make the scene in different aspects. Like back in the day, I made the scene as like a punk rocker, and all that kind of sort of thing. And now I make the scene as a bhakti a bhakti yogi.
A bhakti yogi.
Fair?
Yeah, you're a bhakti yogi. And, we do, you come to the bhakti recovery group, and I'm always happy when you're there, and you always have something, you have a very contagious smile, and you have good energy. And I wanted to get you on the show.
Yeah. Thank you. It's my energy and my whole presence and everything. The way I am is really because of all the things that I've had to live through and all the things that I've gone through, which are like pretty intense. And I don't know if you want to get into that, but
that's what we're getting into. We are going to get into it. Okay. Let me pause us for a second because your microphone sounds so muffled. Hold on one second. We're going to come back. Hold on. All right, we're back. We're back. And we're back, and it sounds better. It sounds better for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So, let's get into it, man. Let's dig deep. Let's dive.
Okay.
So what leading up into your whole life and stuff, but leading up to all of this, what made you, what brought you to the point of finding spirituality? Were you spiritual as a kid?
Well, I will tell you this much, is that I've always been a spiritual person. Okay. So beginning when I was very young, we went to church. We went to a Baptist church, and my mom, would bring us kids to church, and we would go to church and everything. And I really, I was digging it. I got along with everybody, but the church life and the family life were not lining up at all. There was definitely some problems going on there. And I think that my foray into music, into in the teenage years, like getting into like drugs and alcohol and stuff like that, like came from that dysfunction in the house. So you can be a spiritual person throughout your life, like from the time you're very young, but if there's anything going on with your family or your home life, it can kind of veer you off, and things that are supposed to be great and blessings become things that can be hindrances to you. So that was kind of the case. So, we as we are need to learn to love ourselves as we are and accept ourselves even at a very young age, everyone seems to have that sort of like that instinct in their mind, like, I feel good about what I'm doing. I feel good about, going to school, having friends, stuff like that. And then something will happen, like some weird sort of like abuse thing will happen. Someone makes fun of you, or like, you see something weird that actually, like in real life, and it kind of causes you to kind of, I guess you would call it trauma.
Hmm.
Kind of causes you to take a step back and like, and that's where things sort of start to maybe change in your mind, and you think, wait a minute,
Hmm.
do I need to do something to fit in? Is
Yeah.
it me that has to change now?
Yeah.
And then you kind of start to like question yourself and question who
Sure.
you. So yeah, I don't
So
know if I answered the
so
question.
how was that? So how was that for you when you were when you were growing up? What kind of kid were you? What did
Well,
were you a good kid? Well, I mean, they're all good kids, but you know what I mean. Were you like a kid who just sort of followed the rules, or were you kind of more rebellious? Did you?
I was I was pretty rebellious. I I started skateboarding when I was 12, I think 12 years old. My dad brought home this garage sale skateboard. It was like a banana board that he bought for like $2 at a garage sale. And
Oh,
little did he know that like that was gonna spark the the revolution, you know.
that's so cool.
Yeah, yeah.
And
So
did you grow up in upstate New York?
I did. I did. I grew up in Rochester, New York, and it like back in the 90s, Rochester was like any other city where it was like a good strong economy. There was just stuff to do, stuff going on. It was like just a beautiful, like the population was way higher. Uh,
Hmm.
the like the I don't know. I don't want to get political, but like, it was things were a little more loose and the economy was thriving here. Uh,
Right.
so skateboarding got me into punk rock. Punk rock gave me like that identity to grow up with, like that
Hmm.
I'm sure you can relate to this too, like
Totally.
yeah,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
yeah, yeah. It like your friends kind of become your family, and you're
Yeah.
always hanging out with them. So through skateboarding, the whole world was could just opened up for me.
Wow. And before that, were you kind of like, did you have a lot of friends in school? Were you more of a loner, or
I was
did you get bullied, or did you bully kids? Were you a bully, or, I
I
got bullied. I got bullied and then I learned how to bully.
yeah, 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 pretty much like the same kind of story right there, where like it kind of
Ah.
went both ways, like yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
guess, I mean, you know what? I don't consider myself, I never was a bully, but I started to push back. Like I
yeah,
wouldn't let myself get bullied anymore. I wasn't like someone who would just like randomly pick on somebody who wasn't like me. And the
yeah,
contrary, actually, on the very contrary, very different. I
yeah,
would always stick up for the underdog and get my ass kicked for it.
yeah, yeah. There was I mean, once I hit a certain age, I think like in high school, where I was like, all right, like like if you're messing around a little too much, like I kind of would like unleash, like, you know, and I did that a couple of times, and I was in the principal's office a couple of times for doing that. Well, lo and behold, 30 years later, I find out that like I have like Mars is like very strong in my chart, and I guess that's like
Me
you too,
too.
right? I just found
Totally.
that out.
It's like, and it's like strong in some of the like not the good ways.
Yeah, I know. It's so crazy,
Yeah.
like how like now in our adult lives, like we're learning about like I think you had like a foray into astrology like recently. I'm like
Yeah.
in the middle of like this astrological like thing happening in my life right now where it's like I just want to learn more and more about it. I mean, I'm kind of looking at it like, this is definitely something. This is like so many answers are here. Why have we not looked at this before? Like,
I know.
so, like, yeah, that's why, like, we could probably do a whole show just on astrology, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, totally. It's so fascinating, and it's unbelievable how much it really like it's just so spot on with everything. Every single thing in my chart. Like you can just sit there silently and he'll tell you the things that happened in your life and they will be true. I mean, specifics like you had a child in here, you had a miscarriage then, you had this, that, this has happened, and a big move happened here, and they were all right. And I never told them anything. It's not like I was like, yeah, no, nothing, just
Mm,
nothing. And everything was right within a month radius
mm,
of years, just craziness. It's
yeah,
insane.
yeah.
So, all right, so you're a skater, punk
Mhm.
rocker, skater.
Oh yeah.
And you were a partier? Did you party to do drugs and drink or not really?
I did, and partying is what ruined my skateboarding career. Actually, I was in 2001, 2002. I had like a guy that got a hold of me and would video me, and like it was like this whole process. Like we would go to Philadelphia to this FDR skate park in Philadelphia, which at the time wasn't as big as it is now, but it was like a major scene. It was a big scene in skateboarding back then. And it was like
Wow.
a great place to go and skate and learn how to skate. And he was trying to get me sponsored. He was like a manager and he was trying to get me sponsored. So we would go there, we would go out to Philly, we would go down to some stairs and some handrails that he knew about, and we would just film as much as we could in like these little like slots of time. I took out of my time, he took out of his time, and there were contests that I would enter. And it got pretty serious, like he was supporting me in the way that he was like, if you need a deck, if you need wheels, if you need trucks or anything, just let me know.
Mm,
Do He started making phone calls to all the skate shops and saying, hey, I got a kid here, he's pretty good. Do you have a team? Can we get him on the team? He started doing all that for me, right? Well, here's what happened is basically, um, we both like to drink, but one time too many, we got to drinking and I got a little loose in the mouth. And, you never know when you push someone over the limit, especially
mm,
if you yourself are drunk, you know? And so we had a falling out, and that was like pretty much it for that. Like that door pretty much closed, you know? And
mm,
one of the hardest lessons that I have ever learned in my life, I had
mm,
so far, I had made it through my teenage years into my adult years, and I was finally like I met pro skaters like almost weekly during that time. I mean, this guy was taking care of me, like I'll never like meeting Steve Caballero. I mean, that's like a once in a lifetime kind of a thing if you're a skateboarder, you know.
right.
It's like, you know, yeah, it's a funny story about that. I'll go into that later, but
Okay.
yeah, I was borrowing his helmet and his knee pads and his elbow pads so I could skate on this ramp, and I didn't know they were his, but they were his, and they were sweaty, but I wanted to skate on this ramp anyway, and that's how I got to meet him. I knew
Oh,
he was,
was
but
he pissed?
no, he was like he just came up to me. He's like, "Hey man, I gotta have my stuff back. It's time for me to skate." And I was just like,
I'm so sorry, Mr. Skateboard Guru. I'm so sorry, Mr. Skateboard Guru. I'm
but,
board guru.
but it was one of these. It was like I was like totally fanboyed out. It was like one
That's
of these
so
things.
freaking funny.
It's like I'm like I have Steve Cavallero's sweat on my head and on my elbows.
Ugh.
I'm never gonna walk
God.
again. So yeah. So anyway, so that door closed, but then some other doors did open up once I got it together. I kind of had to restart over again and get it together, and other doors opened up. Long story short, in 2012, I started my own skateboard company, and I just started making skateboards in my garage and selling them on Etsy. And I did that from 2012 to 2018. And then
Wow.
once again,
Party.
the parting. So okay, so that's time, right? So I'll tell you real quick. In 2018, I entered into an in-house rehab in Buffalo called Adult and Teen Challenge. And they scared me straight. They scared the crap out of me. I mean, they scared me. These dudes in Buffalo, like, I don't know what it is about Buffalo, but it's like black and white compared to Rochester. Like, we might be neighbors, but they do things differently in Buffalo, you know? So I went to that in-house rehab, and it scared me straight, and that's what really changed me. That's what, from that point on, I've been straight ever since then.
Wow. When was that? What year was that? Just out of curiosity.
That was 2018.
Oh,
And
wow.
well, they do things a very interesting way. you know when you go into that in-house program, they keep you there. It was 12 months, but they actually shortened it down to 9 months. But having that time is what you really need. You
Is it like
can't,
Synanon? Synanon?
they are not, they're actually a faith-based program.
Oh,
And
nice.
yeah, I don't think I know that they had to like go out and make their own money because they weren't getting any government money because they wouldn't change their name or their principles. They
Hmm.
Adult and Teen Challenge is like, I think the guy that he started it in New York City, and
I know the program. I know it.
yeah,
Yeah.
he was a big time evangelical pastor, preacher, and he started it. He came out with the book, The Cross and the Switchblade, right? That's like an iconic kind of book, right?
Cross and the
Right?
switchblade.
Yeah, The Cross and the Switchblade. Wow, I mean,
Now it's like the cross and the Uzi. It's not a switchblade anymore.
right,
People would be
seriously.
happy with a switchblade. Now it's just like the cross and the AK.
Yeah. Oh, so totally seriously. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Things are crazy now. So
Wow.
yeah, but it was the time. The time, I needed that much time, like months and months and months with no contact. We're talking no contact with anybody.
Yeah.
No, nothing. They were even kind of like, you can have like a couple of cups of coffee, but that's it. And I was like,
Yeah. No cigarettes. No cigarettes?
absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Damn.
No, nothing. No, none of that
Damn.
basic nonsense either. None of that nonsense.
Wow. Yeah, when I got clean from my drugs, I was sucking down coffee and smoking 2 packs a day. And my God, I'm so glad I don't smoke anymore. Ugh.
I know. I know. I worry about that all the time. Like, it's like, I don't know what it is about when you go to rehab where you're quitting alcohol, but like you start just hammering down coffee and cigarettes. It's
And
like,
sugar.
and then you gotta go into rehab for that.
I know. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
well.
Yeah.
So after that, you decided, okay, I'm going straight now. How did you get to bhakti? How did you get to Krishna consciousness? How did that happen for you?
Well, I from 2018 I got straight. I got off of drugs and alcohol. I was still,
Did you ever go to a 12-step program, or you just?
I had gone to 12-step programs, but I didn't really like them because they were so
Mm,
nebulous. You weren't really allowed to say, I believe in Jesus or I believe in this very certain thing. They were so like, oh, like, oh, this pine cone could be your higher power. And I was like,
yeah,
"Ah,
no.
no, the pine cone
Could
is
be
not
yours.
God."
Could be yours, but not mine.
Yeah, yeah, you know, right.
Uh,
So so I got, I'm cleaned up. It's 2018 and I'm sober, right? But I'm like angry sober. I'm like,
oh yeah,
I hate being sober, right? And so
yeah. White knuckling sobriety.
yes, yes, yes. So to try to channel some of that energy, I used to play drums when I was a teenager. I went out and I bought a new drum set and I got into the metal hardcore. I mean, like just the the heaviest, blackest metal you could find. I mean, we're talking like, like double bass stuff. Like I actually am a pretty good drummer. I don't even know.
You don't want
Pretty,
to toot your own horn, but
I don't want to, but I do love playing drums. So, um,
I don't want to dance to the beat of my own drums, but I'm pretty dang good.
oh my goodness. It's like that. Yeah.
I play drums too, by the way. I'm not good though. So I'm like really solid. I'm like a 3-trick pony. I can do like 3 beats and I do them really well. And that's it. No desire to do any more than that. I'm not a fancy drummer, but I'll keep a strong beat. Yeah.
Awesome. That's all you
Anyway.
need.
Yeah.
That's all. That's what it's all about, really. That's it. That's it.
Yeah. But I'm a crappy drummer. I'm not like capable of learning more than what's in my realm.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah, there. Drumming is like that could be a whole world within itself. Like being a
Oh,
drummer.
totally.
It gets so ridiculous.
It's
Um,
funny. It's really funny. Oh,
yeah,
one of my favorite. Anyway, go ahead. So sorry, we're off track.
I know.
Squirreling.
It's
All
easy.
right.
It's easy.
It is.
Okay, so I was channeling my negative energy through music, right? And I was listening to like black metal from Norway. We're talking like Berza,
From Norway. It's like
right?
where the birthplace of black metal.
Yeah, like just
Yeah.
the like seriously just this crazy stuff. Dark Throne, you know,
Ugh.
yeah,
Uh,
just like, ah!
not my thing, but yeah.
Yeah. So I was really struggling. I was struggling.
Mm,
When you listen to that kind of music, it really does affect you. It really, really does. And
sure.
and I was really starting to like walk that very thin line between, like, maybe I am better than everybody else. Maybe 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 what they're talking about is right as far as history is concerned. And I started like going to like that dark side. So I went out to practice one day and I saw that on my Spotify that Youth of Today had put out like something. It came up on my Spotify thing, right?
Like a reunion thing, yeah.
Yeah, like they put out, I don't know, like a reissue or something like that, right? And
I remember.
I was like, I was like, all right, I furthest thing from my mind for years and years and years, furthest thing, right? So I was like, all right, let me check this out. Check that out. And then I saw that Ray of Today was doing
Ray of Today. Is that what they used to
Yeah.
call him? Ray of Today? I love it. I didn't even know that.
So I saw you was doing this podcast, and I was like,
Ragu, did you hear that if you're listening? If you're listening to this, Ragu, you're Ray of Today. I'm sure you know that, though. Anyway, guys, I've never heard that.
yeah, no, I have him saved in my phone as that actually.
Ray of Today. I love that.
I that he'll always be Ray of Today to me,
What's sweet. What's so
So
sweet?
I saw he was doing the podcast, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be funny. This is gonna be hilarious. These Hare Krishnas. Yeah. So I'm like, oh, this is gonna be a good laugh, is what I was thinking in my mind.
Right.
I knew about Shelter. I had even seen Shelter a couple of times, and the Hare Krishna thing to me was just like at the time so ridiculous. But also,
Mm.
I was like, what, woo! I was like that. So I wasn't thinking straight anyway, right?
Yeah.
So I put on Wisdom of the Sages, thinking, oh, this is going to be hilarious. I'm
So you
just,
were back drinking and smoking again.
oh no, I was just totally, I was sober, but I was just hating everything.
Okay. All right. You're still sober. Okay. Just want to get
Yeah.
that straight. All right.
Oh yeah. Like I have been sober since 2018.
So you've
You
been
know,
smoking negativity and drinking hate.
right.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that I was gonna get a good laugh at Wisdom of the Sages when I put it on.
Mm.
I respected Youth of Today. I mean, Parcell. I respected them for sure. But the Hare Krishna thing, the Shelter thing, all that, like I said, I had seen them like back in the 90s,
Mm.
like every single hardcore show. Shelter, Earthquake, Shelter, you know, Chromex, Shelter. So anyway,
I never went to see them back then.
oh really?
No. I
Oh,
already left the scene back then. It was like I wasn't even like in the hardcore scene back then. And I was living in Berlin, and Ray and I back then, or Raghu and I back then we weren't not friends, but we just never hung around with each other. I mean, we knew each other, but we'd say hi and stuff, but we never really we didn't hang in the same circles.
hmm,
So, and I usually just went to shows with people I knew, like
yeah,
my friends are playing, and then I would go.
right.
Yeah. Anyway, so go ahead.
So I put on Wisdom of the Sages, and I'm listening to it like very secretively because I don't even want the guys I'm working with to know that I'm listening to this because I think it's just so whacked, right?
What were you working?
Well, I work for a union. I'm a union iron worker.
Oh, sorry. Yeah,
Uh,
you'd said that. You told me that before.
yeah, welding.
So cool. That's
Yeah,
so cool.
yeah. I love it. It's a great career, and
Yeah, you don't want to talk to the union boys about Hare Krishnas. That's like, damn Hare Krishnas.
well, I have a story about that I will get to because yes, that's kind of how it is. At first,
All right.
I have a story about that too.
All right.
So I'm listening to this like very secretly, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be, oh, I'm gonna get them, this is gonna be so funny. No, they melted my heart. They just,
Oh my
heart.
God.
I remember driving home from work, just crying, sobbing, driving home,
No.
like, like crying for like days in a row.
Bro, that is so cool.
Yeah, it's like I went through this catharsis.
Oh my
I was like
gosh.
this little worm that crawled into this little, like, like cocoon. And when I came out, I was like a butterfly or a moth or whatever. I was like
Or
completely
moth. I was a butterfly or moth or a flying ant. I don't know, something.
flying squirrel.
Uh,
So
I don't know if they cocoon though, but I don't think flying ants cocoon either. So
yeah,
anyway,
well, I mean, yeah, it was a very strong, very potent, very real change. And I knew, I was like, this, like I had like that coming to Jesus moment, that was
mm,
coming to Krishna. And I just felt so assured of what they were saying. And so
mm,
it resonated so deeply in my soul and had such a profound change on me. I was like, this is it. Like, this is what I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life. And I just knew right then and there. I was like, this is it. This is it. This is where I'm going to live. This is my life, you know?
that's
So,
great. I
yeah,
love that.
yeah,
Are you part of the new platform? Are you on the new platform? I think I saw you there.
I am. I am on the new
Good,
platform. Yeah, yeah. I
good.
try to hop on the show every day if I can.
I
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, we've been this weekend, Rath Yatra is in New York City, so it should be good.
Are you gonna go?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh
Me and
man,
Nath are gonna drive down together. He lives in Ithaca, which is like an hour from here. So
you're an hour from Ithaca. My mom used to live up there.
yeah,
She used to live in Interlaken. I think we went through this before the last one.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
A little tiny town. I love that little town. It's a sweet little town. It really is.
yeah,
It's nice.
yeah,
Huh.
yeah. It's freaking cold though.
Yeah.
I was really young when she lived up there, though. She moved up there when I mean, I haven't lived at home since I was 14. She kicked me out when I was 14. And so, like, I think must have been 19 or 20 when she moved up there.
Mm.
And I went to visit her a few times, stole her car, went running around, got into a couple of accidents.
Wow. Yeah.
No driver's license. Ugh, total
Yeah.
out of control.
Yeah.
Ithaca, yeah, Ithaca, Interlaken.
Yeah.
Bareback horseback riding. The first time I ever rode a horse, it was bareback in Ithaca. No, in Interlaken.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah. I mean, that's like pure farm country. I mean, that's nothing but cows
Totally.
and
I
that.
know. Actually, oh God. Mushroom stories. I used to eat so many mushrooms and go up there and get lost into the it's totally crazy.
Yeah. That's definitely a pastime of of
Yeah.
it's like a crowd for sure.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, totally, totally. So yeah. That's so cool. I love hearing stories from people. Let me ask you something because I know you went to this other like faith-based, Christian-based thing. Don't you, I mean, I don't know about you, but wouldn't you say that bhakti led you back to the same to that the path of bhakti is literally good for anyone, even if you want to find Christianity?
I would absolutely it is. It really is.
Did you have any kind of experience like that?
It it made me take Christianity way more seriously, actually. Like
Yeah.
it has made me be such a better Christian. Just if nothing else, just out of the practice of the four regular principles.
Mm,
Principles. Things in the Christian world right now are I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what they're doing. It was getting a little when I was in there. Now that I'm I've my view back into it is like you guys gotta just pick something and go with it, you know? Don't
yeah.
be afraid. Say no to drugs and alcohol. You know? That's what I love about Krishna consciousness is that it's a hard no.
It's
no,
a hard no. Yes.
yeah,
It is a hard no. It's a hard no.
yeah, it is a hard no. It's like no, no, no drugs or alcohol in this movement. You know, this is Prabhupada's movement. You know, and I think that having a religious figure like Prabhupada so close, you know, he died in the 70s. That's pretty close. I think that helps a lot too. And the fact that the guy was just so legitimate, so smart, you know, just always having something good to say, you know.
Mm,
I mean, I don't know, to me, this probably only does it for me. I'll say this for myself, is that he's like a Christ figure. Like that's
yes.
how I see him, you know, because he's always like someone that asks him a question. I mean, dude, he sounds like Jesus out of the Bible, you know? It's like this guy's so smart, you know, like he's got the answer, you know, and he's just like, oh, you want to know that? Here it is. Bam, 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 you know, it's like amazing, amazing, disciplined, smart, intelligent, loving, kind. These are all elements that, like, I think the Christian church right now is just grappling with, because
Mm,
I think it's because part of their whole thing is like they have to go out and save people, you know, like they have to go out and like be missionaries and like save people. Like that's kind of like their burden. When I
mm.
was in the church, you know, like we had to like do that, like go out and pray for people.
Well,
So
it's the thing is, I think, and it's funny because now, I was raised culturally Jewish. And I say that very, very consciously because we were not religious Jews, we were cultural Jews. And in our house, the only thing that counted was politics and education and the culture of being Jewish. Of course, we did the Seder and we did the Passover. We did Passover. We did the things that you normally do, but there was not really any kind of no religion taught at all. But what I found when I got into Bhakti um, was really a deep, deep love for Catholicism. um, After falling in love with Krishna and after falling in love with the Bhakti path and falling in love with everything that the Vaishnavas had, then I started to, because I'm a curious person and I hate the diagnosis, but I got it before it was a big thing. But like this whole ADHD thing, um, I need like mucho information, mucho always. So I'm hopping around, like sucking up that and sucking up this. And I just think that, if you look at like some of these deities that I have, like I
yeah,
got them all going on there. So,
yeah,
you know, I love Catholic. I love the way Our Lady of Seven Sorrows loves Jesus. I love the way Mother Teresa gave her life for Jesus, even though she could be politically incorrect for some people and appropriation and ploop, 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 whatever.
yes,
Her love of Jesus was her love of Jesus. And that is the love I have for God. And that's the universal truth. It's the universal truth, whether it's Catholic, whether it's Vaishnav, whether it's, whatever it is. And I think most religions have forgotten that. They've just forgotten that. And that's
yeah,
why I loved Prabhupada so much.
yeah,
How he says, I'm not here to tell you to believe in Krishna. I'm here that you don't forget that you have a God. Go to your God. You know, God is the universal truth. Yeah. Anyway.
yeah.
So yeah. So yeah, go ahead. So that was kind of like what we were talking about that I asked you if, you found being, strengthening your Christianity in a way.
Yeah, yeah. It made me realize how special it is, and how how it could be so much better. It could be so much better.
Yeah.
It, you know, like we can take these. We don't need to leave our religious whatever we were raised with. Krishna consciousness seems to be just an add-on to it. In fact, the best way for me to describe it is the Baptist thing, the Pentecostal church that I was raised in, all that stuff was like high school. Krishna consciousness is like university. Krishna consciousness is like getting a master's degree, getting a PhD, like getting more and more education, but you never forget and you never leave behind what got you to that point. You had to have some sort of like seed of faith, like someone somewhere planted a seed of faith in you, and there's no reason to, like forget about, because all these things in your life got you to where you're at now. All these things, God knew exactly what he was doing, and he got you to where you're at now. So there's no need to say, well, I'm never going to go to a church again. No, that's where,
Mm.
what's that old song? There's an old hardcore song, right? Don't forget your roots.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
yeah.
There are those kind of people. There are so many people who are actually, very, very quick to throw the baby out with the bathwater. You know, um, I know a lot of people leave the Krishna conscious movement because of the boomers, the male boomers who may have misconstrued a little bit about being like a downer on the women,
Oh yeah.
and but there are always people like that, and everywhere you go. And that's like, for me, even more reason not to leave. I'm like, nah, dude, like, I'm gonna change your mind. And if I can't change your mind, I'm still not leaving. Like, you can just go be your like weird self somewhere else, but I ain't leaving. I earned my seat. No.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's great. I'm glad you brought that up because um old Bhakta Jake is like super into like
You're not old, man. You're still younger than me for sure.
well what I want to say is like I am a big time I don't know what you would call it. I'm a big time advocate for women's rights,
Oh,
for
nice.
for like equality. Um
I can
yeah,
see that with you. You've got
oh,
you've got that vibe,
big time.
you know.
Yeah, well, we didn't really get into it on this one, but like my relationship with my mother really formed that in me. Like,
Oh,
she was like 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 do not back down kind of a lady. Like that was her song actually, like don't back down, like I won't back down. Well, we can maybe get into that on
you mean from
another.
Tom Petty? You mean Tom Petty?
Yeah, like that was her theme song, right?
Oh God.
Yeah. Yeah, she was a hardcore lady without being like in the hardcore scene, like she was like iron, she was
I
like
love it. I love it. Love
yes.
strong women. How
Yeah.
old are you? How old are you, Jake?
I am 46 right now.
Oh, you
And then
look younger.
thank you. Thank you.
What
Yeah.
do you mean currently? Of course, currently you're 46. Currently, I'm 46, but
you know,
yesterday,
yeah.
but
Well,
last year I was 45. In the future, I'll be 47.
yeah,
Jake, I
yeah,
love it.
yeah, that's yeah. This yeah, man. Yes. So I don't know. We don't have that much time left, but I do want to say that I can really agree with you on where you're at with women in bhakti and how
Yeah.
they need there seems to be a need for them to have more representation, more of something to stand on, like a foundation,
Yeah.
more about a foundation. Um, I do a job
Yeah.
with this amazing woman called Manjari Devidasi, and she's actually in India right now, and she's known for her artwork. She's a beautiful artist.
Beautiful.
Yeah, she's had quite a bit of published artwork actually. A lot of these pictures, I don't have any like right in front of me right now, but a lot of these like more modern pictures of Krishna, that's her artwork.
No, wow,
I
beautiful.
guess, yeah, I guess I think either her parents or her grandparents were Srila Prabhupada disciples.
I know who she is. Yeah, I know who
Okay,
she
okay,
is. Yeah,
all
yeah.
right. Because I don't know, like, there's so many devotees, I don't know who knows who or
Oh,
anything
of
like
course. Yeah,
that.
it's different. It's actually a huge world, but it's also a teeny world. Really, if you got a little something, something, you you're known within the community.
Right, right. So,
She is pretty. She
yeah,
is beautifully talented.
yes,
Beautiful.
yes.
Yes.
So I would consider her to be my guru. I really would, you know?
Oh,
Now,
fantastic.
that's like so completely unofficial, but she from like Krishna miracle stuff.
Yeah.
From the moment I met her in real life over in Syracuse at Mantra Central, they have an
Hmm.
ashram in Syracuse that I always,
Really?
it is beautiful. It's called Mantra Central, and they have had it open there for probably, I'm going to guess, at least 5 years. It's been open,
Oh, do they
and
have deities?
they do, they do. They
Wow.
have, yeah, they
Do
have,
they have Gornitai? Gornitai?
they have Gornitai, they have Narasimha, and
Oh,
they have Tulsi Devi.
no way.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow. Will you
It's
do me a favor and take some pictures and send me?
I'll send you some pictures as soon as I can.
Okay,
They're
cool.
right, they're right in Syracuse, and they've been like champions of the scene. They have just been like just tirelessly just going at it, having programs every single day for
Nice.
yeah, yeah,
And how far are you from Super Soul? How far of a drive is that? It's like 3 hours, isn't it?
3 hour tour.
It's 3 hours, right?
It
The
is
Gilligan's Island. Ah, the references. Oh
yeah,
my God.
yeah,
Oh
yeah,
my God, don't get me started.
yeah. No, right? Sorry.
It's the playlist up there that's constantly on the go. Now I've got the Tom Petty song that's going to be in
Yeah.
my head all day.
So,
And yeah.
but yeah, I just wanted to really, maybe we can get into that later on, but yeah, like I really would like to see women have a little more, just more of an active role in ISKCON, I guess. I mean, I I don't know. Sorry, I got plugged in my phone. Sorry.
No
Sorry
worries.
about that.
No worries.
My phone's about to die as I'm saying this very important thing. So yes, that's where I stand on yeah, I feel that women should be allowed to be gurus. Um
Yeah. Yeah,
just
I do too. I don't see a reason why not. It's just tradition that it's not. And if you look at history, it's just because a lot of women weren't well read. They weren't allowed to read back then. They didn't need to read back then. There was just so many reasons why women. I mean, plus, also if we're looking in the past where it was easier that people had their roles, let's put it that way, um, more convenient. Now it's not like that anymore. Now we have to do exactly the same thing men do. Thanks, women's lib. I love you guys. Like, but no, it's yeah. I
yeah,
just think women don't have the voice they should have, for
yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree completely.
And
You
men
know,
don't listen. That's the thing. Women
yeah.
might have some voices, but I think for generally a lot of men, especially boomers, some Gen Xers, don't listen.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was, I mean, this is a great, sort of
Topic.
a topic because I am just so fired up about this, you know,
Hmm.
for to see my mom being like, you know, these just cycles of like abusive relationships, you know, and
Hmm.
just taught me it like definitely taught me to like look out for these things, you know, look out for this and this, you know, if you see these traits in somebody, there's going to be a problem, you know.
Hmm.
Women, I'm telling you, they are they need to be just elevated, I guess, you know,
It's
in
wonderful.
I think in every way, quite honestly, you know, like in every way, not just in this con, in
Yeah,
every way,
of course. Of
you know,
course.
I mean, yeah, that's where I'm going to stand on that. Yeah.
It's good. Christianity too. They're pretty, if you it's just weird when you read stuff, sometimes you're just like, oh, really? Did you say that? Are you that stupid? It's like you're reading the Bible and you got to be like, what did he just say? And then, as a woman, I have to say, okay, this is the body I got this time around. I mean, and actually it's a very small pinprick in this and in these multi-universes. It's like it's one little teeny thing that's going to be gone in the blink of a second. You know, for us, it just seems like eternities. And I think every man was a woman and every woman was a man in one way or the other. And I think living like a woman with these restrictions and advantages, we have both, is something to learn for it. So I tried not really to resent men, but I don't shy away. Like I don't rebel. I just kind of go, oh, I'm sorry you feel that way. Like I don't feel very triggered because it is what it is. And this is the body I was given this time around. And for sure, I have a lot of masculine energy in case you haven't noticed. I am one of the boys in a way, and I have also a lot of feminine energy, which
Yeah.
only some people get to really get to see because it's the vulnerable side that gets hurt a lot in this world, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think a lot of this is the fact that men need to be men. Men need to
Mhm.
learn how to hold feminine energy. They need,
Yeah.
that is something that they are just
That's
like they're not being taught that. They are not
that's a
being taught
powerful statement. Powerful. Men need to learn how to hold feminine energy. It's so true. Instead of like crushing it or controlling it or,
that. Yeah.
manipulating it or, yeah.
Yeah. It's like imagine like if you had like a vase with like the sea in it, you know, or like just if you even want to just picture the ocean and how the ocean is just it's doing things all the time. That is
Mm.
energy. It is so alive and it's moving all the time. It's going through different phases. As men, we need to understand. Just let it go. Just be there. Just hold it. Just let it do its
Wow.
thing and support it. You know, nurture.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that. I mean, this could be a whole new thing. I do feel very strongly about
Yes.
this, and you know, maybe there's a reason why why you so graciously invited me on your show because this teaching needs to get out there. I really do believe that is men need to start manning up, you know, like they really
So
do.
true.
It seems
I
like
love that.
this whole year has been that lesson to me. I have seen it
Yeah.
coming and I've seen it going this entire
Mm.
year. Yeah,
Amazing.
yeah,
Amazing.
yeah, yeah. No more
Well,
Instagram dudes. Get off that Instagram. Get off of that. Yeah. Get off of that hub. You know, get off of that hub, dudes. You know what I'm
yes.
talking about. All right. Get off of it. Get off. Don't sit on YouTube and watch yoga videos, dudes. No more of that. All right. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. This could be a thing. I feel like I'm feeling called to this direction. I'm feeling called to that direction for sure. So yeah.
Well, let's continue this. Let's have a part 2. Would you like to have a part 2?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Bhakta Jake, I really appreciate you coming on. I'm super happy you did. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I love it when you show up to meetings. Please keep coming.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You have to work today?
I don't actually.
Yay.
Yeah. It's been coming and going work-wise up here in upstate New York. So
Okay.
go with the flow.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
All right, Jake. All right, Ball. Thanks so much again. And we'll do a part 2.
All right. Thank you.
This concludes another episode. Thanks for listening. In order for me to serve this community to the best of my ability, I welcome feedback. Please write your feedback at bhaktirecoverypodcast@gmail.com. That's bhaktirecoverypodcast@gmail.com. Also, please don't forget to follow and give us a 5-star rating. Share this with family and friends. If you'd like to join our Bhakti Recovery community or just find out what we're all about, please visit our website at www.bhaktirecoverygroup.com. That's www.bhaktirecoverygroup.com. There are no dues or fees, and we meet daily. If you or someone you know is struggling with addictions and/or associated behaviors, you will find links in our show notes to various 12-step programs. Nobody seeking recovery need ever be alone again.
सर्वधर्मान् परित्यज्य मामेकं शरणं व्रज.
The miseries of material existence and the most hopeless conditions of life is the best possible opportunity to turn to God.